Oops.
We good?
Yep.
Guys, welcome to the first ever live video tour of our lab. This is located right here in Central Phoenix. We've been here since January of 2015, and we've been producing e-liquid since July. And the purpose of this video is just to show our existing customers that we care a lot about making sure things are correct, that things are done consistently, and we're always trying to improve our product. And for people who maybe have never tried our juice, just kind of explain and demonstrate the value of what we do. So let's come on in. All right, so we have this is our facility. We have David DeRosiers here. David's been with me since September of 2014. He's the lab manager here. So Dee, take us through. I see you have some bottles here, so kind of take us through what you do to get things ready for juice to be bottled.
Well, basically I come in every day and pull all sales reports for the shops and pull down any wholesale orders that need to be produced. I print up all of the labels in their correct nick strengths and flavor labels. And then we sticker those bottles and prepare them to be taken into the lab and actually filled by David's lab.
So currently we have 2 label printers. We just we do produce for Vape Gravy among some other lines. We just got these. They're really nice. We're trying to kind of get everything on board with those. So if you want to come right here, I'll show you. We got a whole bunch of different bottles and stuff in here, but so we have a bunch of different kinds and colors and sizes of bottles. What we do is he prints out the labels, bring them in here, label them here, because we don't want to have any contamination or anything, and do that inside the lab. And then it's wheeled on a cart and it's brought into the lab. Hey Dee, you want to tell us a little bit about the filter and kind of what's going on with that?
Sure. This is our positive pressure HEPA filter. It moves 750 cubic feet of air per minute. It gives us an environment inside of the lab that is somewhere between an ISO 7 and an ISO 8 particulate count for the air. It's very, very clean.
Let me preface that by saying we don't have ISO certification simply because it's not something that's required. If it was something that was required to produce e-liquid, we would do it.
Yeah, I use the ISO reference just to give people an idea of where it lands actually on paper and in reality inside of the lab, because that's a measurable standard. But we keep this room under positive pressure for 24 hours a day. It helps keep particulates and any dust and any contaminants out of the lab. We ramp that pressure up during production to keep things.
So during the like at night, it'll be like this, and then obviously during production.
Correct.
So this is a removed facility. And really, the only people who have access to this are myself, Jay, my logistics guy, and really the 2 guys here, a couple wholesale customers. But it's a very secure location. How often is this changed?
This outer filter here is changed once every month. That's just a light standard filter. The filter inside will get changed about every 6 to 8 months.
And what do you do as far as, and we'll take you guys into the actual lab itself, but what do you do in terms of daily/weekly cleaning of the facility itself?
Every day the floor is swept and mopped with an alcohol solution that is usable in a clean room environment. And then once a week, all of the work surfaces, all of the carts, and all of the other surfaces are wiped down.
Stuff as well.
Walls, ceiling. The interior of the lab is coated with an antibacterial paint that gives us an extra added layer of cleanliness and reduces any biological hazards.
And I'll go through, once we go in, I'll kind of explain. This was just an office. This was actually a conference room, so we had to do a lot of work to bring it to the standard that we wanted it to be. We've been making e-liquid for 3 years. We haven't always had a facility like this, but this was an opportunity. We were like, all right, we got some money, we have some time, and we have the experience. So, and then whenever so we do coats, and then if you got a beard, you wear a beard net. If you want to show them what you got, and that's just again to you know, just so you don't get beard hair in your e-liquid.
Beard hair.
I mean, it would be like a gross thing. And then what is this? So this is an air.
That's an air curtain that helps also keep any particulate or dust or anything from getting into the lab whenever that door is open and closed. We try to not open that door and close it at all during production runs.
All right, and then all right. So then again, so when he's bringing in stuff, this is turned on, right?
Correct.
So we may as well do that right now. We got sticky things right here, just so we can get rid of any dust or anything that might be on people's shoes. Yep. So let's go on in. So as you can see, again, it's positive pressure, so it's a little bit hard to open. When we did this was all like the popcorn wall, so we had somebody smooth everything, walls and ceilings, new light fixtures, just again to minimize dust. I mean, is it absolutely critical so that zero particles of dust come into this facility? And you want to make sure, but if we're going to do it, we want to make sure it's as clean as possible. So here we have David Slack. David Slack's been with me since November, I think. November of 2014. So he's the guy that's mixing and batching every bottle of e-liquid that comes out into my shops and online and everything like that. So here, if you want to kind of just explain to people what we have here and kind of what you do and what all the different stuff is. Here we also have to keep things a little bit cooler in here, and then an exhaust right out here. So if you want to kind of let people know kind of what you're doing and what these different models are and stuff like that.
Alright, so over here, this is all of our house flavors that we currently carry.
The Bun Out Original Recipe line, that's like your Eternal Sunshine and stuff like that.
We batch them out in 0, 6, 12, and 18. We've just recently phased out 24. So that's all of our house stuff, and over here is all our specialty lines. We have our newest line, Prestigious Clouds, up here.
It's Brandon, his stuff's really great. I'm looking forward to trying out some more of the flavors.
Here's New Method stuff right here. This is all 7 Reserve. Down here is Friend or Foe, and this bottom rack, and over here is Vape Gravy. So we have it all categorized alphabetically and by nick strength and everything. We keep it so there's some steeping going on almost at all times with the juice.
And if is anybody asking questions that they?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
We got all of our flavor concentrates that we use right here. We got TFA on the top 2 racks plus this rack. And then we have Capellas and Flavor West. As you can see, it's a lot of shit.
Yeah, we just try. I mean, look, we want to make flavors that taste good, and we don't. Some of this stuff ends up being really expensive, like the marshmallow flavor or whatever. But we want to make sure. Look, I mean, it's that we're not going to scrimp. We want to make sure that the juice that comes out of our lab not only is it consistent and in a nice environment, but that it tastes good as well. I mean, for instance, how long? So we got Slack's line actually. He's got 4 flavors that are coming out. We're pretty excited. Lab Monkey e-liquid. His stuff's coming out July 9th, so I'm looking forward to that. How long did it take for you to develop these flavors that you were working on?
Probably at least 6 months.
6 months. So again, that's what about you? I mean, you now have 9 flavors. I mean, how long did it take for just your 3 flavors from the dark side?
I mean, over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Look, it's one of those things that I've toyed with the idea, and it may happen at some point. But I've toyed with the idea, or it's been brought up to me as far as bringing in simpler flavors and selling them for less. I don't really want to do that. I want people, when they buy a bottle of juice, that it's not cheap, not crazy, but I want them to know that whether they like the flavor or not is irrelevant. I want them to know that every bottle of e-liquid has had a lot of work put into it, a lot. So also then of course there's no food or drink allowed inside the lab. So do you want to kind of go? Oh, you should gloves, right?
Don't use those.
Okay. And again, so even if some of you guys might order like a custom nicotine strength, or Eli, some of you guys might order like a custom nicotine strength, you know, like a 4 or something like that. So we use separate needles for every single concentrate, just so there's no contamination. So again, we don't make sacrifices on quality just so we can save a few bucks. You know, again, so what I mean,
I have some examples of those that I'm going to run through too. So right now I'm batching up Eli's Amaze balls in 0, 3, 6, and 12 strength. What we do with our more popular flavors is that we put them in these 5,000 milliliter jugs, and we make the concentrate into 5,000 milliliter batches so that I can just pour directly from here. It helps mix it up. It gives a little bit of steeping process, and it makes my job a lot easier. So I just added the PG and the flavoring. Next comes the VG.
And what do you do as far as cleaning and sanitizing these cylinders?
We clean and sanitize them.
Well, like, what's the process? Make it sound fancier than that. Every day, right? So again,
yeah, every day. We
to
only use
minimize
them once, and
contamination.
we rinse them 4 or 5 times with isopropyl alcohol, and then we dry them.
And then we'll kind of what's here on the computer is really one of the biggest things that separates us from a lot of places, and we'll go into that later.
I'm getting there.
So again, this is the same. He's made tens of thousands of bottles for Bud, so it's the same pour, the same exact thing every single bottle. So is there a special way, or are there special measurements that you do?
Well, with VG, it's a little viscous, so I have to account for if you watch down here, there's going to be some that get stuck in the bottom every time, and I'm not going to sit here and hold it for 10 minutes. So I account for that every time I pour it. I've been doing it long enough where it's going to be the same exact pour every time.
Has there ever been a situation where you made a mistake on pouring or something like that? I mean, not.
Yeah, if
And-
something like that happens, if say I miss and it goes all over or something, I'll throw away that whole batch. and
Throw it away.
restart
So
with
again,
the
we're
flavors
not-
just to make sure there's no miscalculations or something like that where the flavor's going to be off.
I've heard basically, you know, I've talked with people, I've been in this business a long time, and I've talked with people that may buy e-liquid, you know, whatever you call it, your shake and bake places. They say, oh, I bought a bottle, it made me sick or whatever. They go back to the place is like, oh, I'll give you another bottle. Whereas with us, and he's going to go into it, we know exactly, or at least we have a pretty strict method of quality control. And again, we don't let mistakes go past my guys are not, money doesn't get taken out of their paychecks or whatever. We again want to make sure that everything is correct. What?
I said we just get flogged.
Flogged, yes. It's like a passive-aggressive Facebook post, that's about it.
Alright, so now that the VG's added, so we got 12, 6, 3, and 0 strength and nicotine, same flavor. I always cap the 0 after the after the VG's added, so that there's no possible way it accidentally gets nicked. We got the nicotine last. Because
I think they just opened up like right here, right? They're based in Tucson,
Yeah, we
so
just changed our
yeah, we
nicotine
just changed our nicotine to that.
the nicotine is the same viscosity as the VG, so it's going to be the same idea with the pour. I'm looking for 24 milliliters of nicotine in a 3 milligram batch, and I go up to 50 here because there's going to be that 25 or so left in the
So
beaker.
now you say, so it's 100 milligrams per milliliter. How do you?
That's 10% pure nicotine.
Right, but how do you test to make sure? Like, do you want to kind of run through that a little bit?
Give me a second.
Because I've heard, not really from too many people, I've heard that our 3 milligram, oh, it's harsh. It hits like 6. We're going to show you that our 3 is 3, and those people may be used to places that either are not careful when they measure their stuff, or since nicotine is a very expensive component, they go cheap on it and they add less, so it's maybe like a 1 or a 2. Maybe.
Well, and to fix that problem, I always do the 3 first and the highest nicotine last, so that there is some excess nicotine in the beaker. It's going to end up in the high one anyways.
Now, why do you fill those 80% of the way instead of all the way?
These are 1,000 milliliter bottles. We do 800 milliliter batches inside the bottle, so that there's this 200 milliliter space of air to shake it up and make sure that it's all mixed together really well. Now that we're done, we cap it. There's your 0.
Do you have to rebatch Amazeballs more than any other flavor?
About once a week.
Alright, well there you go.
Alright, so here's our 4 flavors. Next step is I bring them over here and I track them in the computer. So if you look up here on the 3 here, for example, we're on batch number 74 now. So that means that I've done this process with the 3 milligram batch 74 times. So when I'm going to come here to the computer, I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the
This
screen
is
or not.
a big deal for us.
Amazeballs, so we're going to track every one that I just made here. Alright, and so as you can see, I'm pretty much the only one who ever does this. I don't know why we have to do this, but today's date. We're going to take the batch number off what I just did. So for the 0, this is the 38th batch. For the 3 and the 6, it's the 74th. And for the 12, it's the 50th batch. We're going to put NA for 0 because we didn't use nicotine in it. And now we're on jug 2 of our brand new nicotine here. Now the next column here is the titration level. If you look up at the top, what we do every day is we titrate the nicotine using a process with a pH test solution here. We take a milliliter of the nicotine, mix it with water, and add this test solution, and we titrate it until it turns a specific color. Once it turns that color, we track how much of the solution we used, multiply it by the constant number in there, and we get our titration level. Today it came out to 104.4. So as long as it's between 105 and 95, we are in a negligible level.
Now, do you make
we are okay to
adjustments
use.
because it's 104? Do you make adjustments on the recipe itself?
No.
Okay.
If it were to ever come out at 108 or 109 or something high like that, then what we would do is we would just add VG to the jug of nicotine, spin it down a little bit, and then retest it again until it comes into an appropriate level. And so the very last thing is we're going to track our batch number. If you look on this jug right here, Amazeballs, we're on batch 4 of the concentrate. So we'll put that right here.
And maybe not too close.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
That's our recipe.
Yeah, but you want to like. So this is the big thing. This, and again, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Almost done.
I'm done.
Although a very dangerous place to work. Mistakes happen. They're very rare. But if any of you guys ever, if it's a bottle and you don't feel it's correct, it's the wrong flavor, you feel it's too harsh, or something is off, this is what we do in order to make sure that we can have some sort of quality control. Because we're selling tasty flavored nicotine liquid, but it's still stuff that people are inhaling hundreds of times throughout the day. So we want to make sure that if something, let's say Capella's issues and says, hey, looks like our cream flavor was toxic all along, or whatever it is, then that would be an extreme situation where we can check every single bottle, every single flavor that used that specific batch number. So that we track everything, and then
Alright, so come over here. We're doing, this is Phoenix's order for the day. This is their daily order. This is all the juice that they sold yesterday. So I'm doing each bottle individually. We have all the specialty lines up front, the house and back, and they're separated by flavor. So like here's one in Crowley. You got the Morning Bowls and Motorboat right here. Now when it's the same things, we go Major Tom's, the Fruit Loop flavor that just came out for 7 Reserve. We go 3, your 2 6s, and a 12 here. And this is how I organize it every day.
And if you guys have any questions about the process, we can see the comments and stuff like that. So feel free to ask. And as always, at anytime. We have the reason we're doing this is because we're very proud of what we're doing. We have nothing to hide. I mean, this is something to where, well, I don't want people copying our recipes and stuff like that, but I would love if more big businesses would copy, if not the facility itself, at least the process that we do. You know what I mean? Just trying to make sure, again, we're not a perfect company, but we're sure trying to be, especially when it's something, we're pretty relaxed, we have a lot of fun. But when it comes again to something, you're dealing with chemicals, you're dealing with stuff that people inhale, and you have to make sure it's as close as you can get it. And if there were, and that's what I was hoping with the FDA, hoping that they would say, hey, if you're going to make e-liquid, you should do it in such a way. Yes, we can't all be so lucky, but if there was ever any regulations or anything like that, you have to do things X way, we would do it. And again, this is a process that's taken years, so certain things, again, mistakes have happened, and whenever those mistakes are happening, we say, okay, how did that happen? And let's figure out a way so it doesn't happen anymore. We have multiple sets of eyes and different, I'm trying to think of the word, but I guess just different ways to make sure, again, that there aren't mistakes. So again, this is what we do every day, just making sure you just fill it up till...
They're always over 30 milliliters.
Yeah.
Every one of them is over 30 milliliters. They overfill the unicorn bottles every single time.
Oh.
You're losing money.
I think on the 15 mils, I remember the first time I had 15 mils, I put it in, and it was like, because I think it's like 14 or something, so that's how the bottles go.
You're over,
Yeah.
You got a heavy,
it works out
heavy hand over here.
Yeah.
Well, it's better to be over than under.
And everything is separate, so let's say you had a bunch of the same nicotine strain. How do you make sure that you're not putting the wrong flavor in, just paying attention, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did it take you, Slack, to feel from starting brand new to feeling very comfortable with this process? To where you kind of established your own process rather than just
Probably 4 to 6 months.
4 to 6 months again. So it's not like somebody that is very brand new and is trusted with all the stuff.
So here's a special order from Oyster and 6.
Trying to read it out.
How are we doing on time?
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yes, fail safes.
Okay, so we have this guy, Jeff Cheney. He ordered 200 mils of the Royster in 6 and then 400 milliliters of Mr. Freeze in 0. So since the Royster is a discontinued flavor, I'm gonna come over here.
And this is what we're gonna do, not just with
These are all our discontinued flavors right here.
some legendary flavors like Paul Escobar and Red Dude.
Mm-hmm.
Classics. This is recipe.
It's not gonna show it.
Royster.
That's wrong. Okay, maybe that's not the.
There's the Royster recipe.
It's fine. We can't see it.
Oh no, not right.
Alright, so new needle, new syringe.
And this again, this is not for show. This is what we do on every single custom order because we don't want contamination.
This specific flavor uses 18% flavor. Every flavor is different.
And you use separate needles for VG, VG, Nick?
No, we use the.
Okay.
It actually smells good.
Now let's say if you didn't have this, had you been using separate needles for every concentrate?
There's 4 flavors.
Because look again, there's some places where they'll just, if they're mixing juice and they have just a little cup of water and they use one syringe for all their stuff, and I'm sorry, I mean that's, what if the person, it's not appropriate. Yeah, at least it's not like these, how much do the needles cost?
They're cheap.
Yeah, well, we have to do it correctly anyway, so.
So I'm adding the PG right now. This is Matt's favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I slide the shaft up and down.
You know it.
It's like high school all over again.
Not Jewish high school.
Next we'll add the nick. This is the only time I add the nick, not last, is when I'm doing custom orders like this. And lastly, the VG.
Did it?
That's what it looks like before it's shaken up and mixed.
Generally, a lot of these
Made.
flavors, what would you say the average, except for a custom order like that, where the concentrate has had a long time to steep, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, generally, how long would you say this stuff, like, I don't know, let's say a bottle of strawberries and cream milkshake, how long would you say that's had to steep?
I mean, I just recently made the strawberry milkshake, I think yesterday or the day before, and before that it was probably steeping for a month.
Okay. Oh, and where's the nicotine kept?
The current bottle being used down there, the rest is kept in a refrigerator out here. Alright, so we got these two. As you can see, it's all separated and weird. You wouldn't want to vape that. It's not going to be good. So, it's the Royster, so I don't know how good it ever will be. But
I liked it 2 years ago. Sorry, Big Roy.
There you go. Boom, magic.
And is there like a specific batch number that you use for custom orders?
Customs.
Okay.
It'll say XXX on here.
Okay. But you can well, no, you'd be able to track with the customer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, it's all specifically handmade that
Okay.
day, so.
I mean, everything else has, for instance, this right here, Eli. So everything here, for instance, 7 Reserve is going to have batch 12, 2016. So that's our current, and then we can look that up in batch 12 on the tracking system and see. But yeah, same with new method. Which which SKU the concentrates were, which batch numbers they were, and the VG and the PG and everything like that. How are we doing on time?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Okay.
It's probably getting close.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? We miss you too, Jay.
Is anyone watching?
Yeah, 23 people. There'll be
well,
more.
A lot of people throughout the thing. Look, this is like a half an hour, guys, so we'll have the full video ready for view. Again, we're not the only lab in the world. This is something that we're proud of because it took a lot of time and knowledge and effort and money to get to this point. But I encourage if you don't buy juice from me, hold the places that you buy juice from accountable. I mean, this is something you're buying this stuff and you're putting it in your body. You're inhaling it into your lungs. So the least they could do is make sure that there's some sort of quality control. Maybe it's a removed clean area and some sort of batching system, quality ingredients and stuff like that.
Or just buy it out.
Or just yeah. Or you could just buy from us. Either way.
Anything else you want to say?
No, guys, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If anybody has any questions, we'll post the entire video on different groups and stuff like that. So again, thank you so much, and I appreciate the years of support from all you guys. It allows us to be successful to the point where we were able to have a place like this. And again, I got great staff and great e-liquid, and that's what we do. We got because let me also say that you can have this facility, you can have it look nice like this, but if you have people in here that don't care, then the product is going to suck. So it takes not only just the basics of having the standards in place, but also people who will keep those standards because they want those standards to be kept. So that's Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in.